The tomatoes a mountain family grew in 1975 were often the direct descendants of tomatoes their grandmother had grown in 1925. The same seed line, saved and replanted every year for 50 years, adapting slowly and steadily to that specific piece of land, that specific climate, that specific family's needs. The plants got stronger with each generation. The variety became more suited to the mountain conditions than any seed you could buy from a catalog. And it cost nothing. The seeds came from the plants the family had already grown. This is the practice of seed saving, and it's been done for as long as humans have farmed. Most modern gardeners don't do it, mostly because they don't know how. Here's the mountain method for saving seeds that get better every year, what varieties actually work, and the details that separate a successful seed saver from someone with a shelf full of dead seeds. Start with the biggest, most important distinction. Not every seed can be saved. Modern seed catalogs sell two general kinds of seed, hybrid and open-pollinated. Hybrid seeds, often labeled F1 hybrids, are the result of crossing two specific parent varieties. The resulting hybrid plants often have valuable traits like disease resistance, uniform ripening, or high yields. But the seeds from a hybrid plant don't grow true to the parent. Plant them the following year, and you'll get a mess of unpredictable, often less vigorous offspring. Hybrid seed is a one-year deal. You can grow the plants and eat the fruit, but you can't save the seed. Open-pollinated seeds are different. These are traditional varieties that have been maintained by seed savers for generations. Their seeds, planted the following year, grow into plants very much like their parents. Some open-pollinated varieties are heirlooms, meaning they've been passed down through families or communities for decades or centuries. Others are simply stable, non-hybrid varieties. The key point: open-pollinated seeds can be saved and replanted year after year, generation after generation, and the plants will keep coming true. The mountain families didn't buy hybrid seeds. Hybrids didn't exist in most of their varieties until the mid-20th century, and even after they became available, mountain families continued growing the open-pollinated varieties their families had always used. Cherokee purple tomatoes, German Johnson tomatoes, Kentucky wonder beans, green striped Kashaw squash. These weren't grocery store varieties. They were family heirlooms, kept alive by the people who saved the seeds year after year. If you want to save seeds, the first job is choosing open-pollinated varieties. Look for labels that say open-pollinated, OP, or heirloom. Skip anything labeled hybrid or F1. Now the actual seed-saving process, which varies by vegetable, but follows a few consistent principles. Choose the best plants for seed. This is where mountain seed savers built varieties that got stronger over generations. Instead of harvesting seeds randomly, they identified their best plants, the ones with the best flavor, the highest yield, the greatest disease resistance, the earliest ripening, whatever mattered for their family, and let those specific plants go to seed while eating the fruit from other plants. Over years, this selection pressure produced varieties that were increasingly well-suited to that family's growing conditions and preferences. Modern seed savers do the same thing. Mark the best plants in your garden. Save seed only from those plants. Over 5 or 10 years of selection, your seed line will drift toward the traits you're selecting for. Let seed crops fully mature. This is where many first-time seed savers go wrong. Seed for saving needs to be fully ripe, often past the point where you'd eat the vegetable. Cucumbers for seed need to grow until they turn yellow and start to soften. Beans for seed need to dry completely on the vine until the pods rattle. Lettuce needs to bolt, flower, and produce seed heads. This means dedicating a few plants, the best ones, to the seed-saving job rather than eating them. If this is the kind of mountain knowledge you want more of, our free Appalachian Almanac goes out every Sunday. One real method, sourced and tested, in your inbox. Links in the description. Now, the vegetable-by-vegetable specifics. Tomatoes. Squeeze the seeds and gel out of a fully ripe fruit into a small jar. Add a little water. Let the mixture sit for 2 to 3 days on a counter, stirring once or twice. This fermentation breaks down the gel coating that would otherwise inhibit germination. Then rinse the seeds thoroughly in a sieve, spread them on a paper towel, and dry them completely before storing. Beans. Let the pods dry completely on the plant until they're brown and papery. Pick, shell, and finish drying the beans indoors for another week or 2 before storing. Peppers. Similar to tomatoes, but without the fermentation step. Cut open a fully ripe pepper, scrape out the seeds, and dry them on a paper towel. Squash and pumpkins. Scoop out seeds, rinse in a sieve to remove the pulp, and dry thoroughly. Lettuce, spinach, and other leafy greens. Let the plants bolt and flower. Seeds develop in the seed heads. Cut the whole seed head when it's dry and brittle, and thresh out the seeds indoors. Corn. Let ears dry completely on the stalk until the husks are brown and papery, then shell the kernels from the cob. The key thing across all of these, seeds must be completely dry before storage. Any moisture in stored seeds leads to mold and loss of viability. Dry them thoroughly, days on a paper towel in a well-ventilated indoor space, before putting them in storage containers. Storage. Dry seeds go in a cool, dry, dark container. Envelopes labeled with the variety and year, kept in a jar with a tight lid, in a cool part of the house. Some seed savers add a small packet of silica gel or a few grains of dry rice to absorb any residual moisture. Others keep seed jars in the freezer, which extends viability significantly. Different seeds have different storage lives. Tomato and pepper seeds keep 3 to 5 years. Bean seeds keep 3 to 4 years. Onion and leek seeds keep only 1 to 2 years. Lettuce keeps 2 to 3. When in doubt, save fresh seed each year and use the older seed for germination testing. Now the important caveat about cross-pollination. Some vegetables cross-pollinate readily with other varieties of the same species. If you grow 2 varieties of the same species near each other and save seeds, next year's plants may be hybrids of the two, which defeats the purpose of maintaining a specific variety. Isolation distances vary by plant. Tomatoes are mostly self-pollinating and don't cross much. Peppers cross more readily but still stay reasonably pure if planted a few dozen feet apart. Squash and pumpkins cross freely across huge distances and are the toughest to keep pure. Corn crosses on the wind for hundreds of yards. For a home gardener, the simplest solution is to grow 1 variety of each vegetable you're saving seed from. If you want to save 2 varieties of squash, grow one this year and the other next year, saving seed only from the current year's crop. Or grow only one of each of the tricky ones, squash, corn, pumpkins, and diversify with tomatoes and beans, which are much more forgiving. The deeper lesson is one this series keeps returning to. The mountain families weren't just growing food. They were maintaining a genetic library of plants adapted to their specific conditions. Every year of saving seed from the best plants nudged that library toward greater vigor, greater regional suitability, greater alignment with the family's needs. The plants got better over generations. Modern agriculture has largely abandoned this in favor of purchased hybrid seed that has to be bought new every year. The industry-scale advantages are real, but something is lost when a family stops maintaining its own seed line. A specific relationship with a plant, a specific adaptation to a specific piece of land, a specific piece of practical genetic wisdom that took generations to build. The good news is that the practice is still alive. Seed-saving networks and heirloom seed companies exist to keep open-pollinated varieties available. Anyone with a garden can join that tradition, save their own seed, and become part of a chain of stewardship that goes back centuries. A tomato saved from a favorite plant, a jar of dried beans in the pantry, an envelope of seeds labeled with a name and a year. The Appalachian way of gardening across generations, and the small, patient practice that keeps the best plants in the world alive. The genetics of open-pollinated varieties, the historical references on Appalachian heirloom seeds, and seed-saving networks you can join are all linked in the description. If you want all of these methods in one place, the Appalachian Way Field Guide has 47 of them with the original sources behind each one. Link below. Real methods, real sources, real history. That's the Appalachian Way. We'll see you Friday.